let's talk about Flash, or Flex, or Unity 3D. I am going to talk about you guys, and more specifically how you present your work to others. And I am here to give you a tip that will dramatically change the way your audience perceives your presentations. It's something you can use when you do client meetings, if you do pitches, or if you speak in your creative community, or if you teach. And it's something that will make your audience feel like this, instead of this. So, sorry, instead of this, yeah? So, here's my advice. Stop using bullet points. Really. This is what happens when you look at bullet points. And first off, you'll start to glance over the list and kind of trying to see what this is about. But at the same time, you want to be listening to me. So I'm basically forcing you to split your focus, which is a really, really hard thing for the brain to do. So do you kind of feel frustrated at this point that I kind of keep talking and talking and you're kind of trying to read the screen as well? Yeah? Good. Then you'll get my point. Basically, bullet points are evil, and we should burn them in the pits of Mordor where they belong. Now, bullet points will make you believe they're your friend, but I assure you they're not. The problem is that multitasking leads to malfunction, which means that the brain really can't focus on both listening and reading at the same time. And people who say they're great multitaskers, you're all lying to yourselves, basically. That goes for women too. Yes, okay, so what's the alternative to using bullet point lists? Well, you could put one bullet on one slide. Bullet lists are great for supporting notes for your presentations, but they're notes. They're not presentation slides. Keep them off the big screen. The key is to use your slides as visual support for your message, and so that you create a place where the audience can rest their eyes while they focus on listening to you as well. And so why does it make sense to visualize your work? Well, because we decipher visuals first. Not text, not numeric data, visuals. So instead of showing your code, show the front-end UI and then base your talk on that. And you know what? If everything else fails, just imagine your audience like this. Just don't let it distract you for too long. Okay, so in summary, stop using bullet points by putting one bullet on one slide and visualizing your work. Now, there's a lot more to creating great presentations that I would have loved to share with you. You know what? I think I could have spoken about this for a full hour. But my time's up, so thank you very much for listening.
Hi guys, I'm Ryan, and this is Bleep, Bloop, Fizzle, Zap. After making games for a number of years, one of the problems I always find is getting my hands on good quality sound effects that are right for the job. Luckily, the amazing Thomas Peterson has put together an app to allow me to generate my own, SFXer. Using the same kind of oscillators and effects found in 16-bit games consoles, I'm just a few clicks away from exactly the sounds I need. Sadly, 3 of those clicks are downloading, scanning and running the exe file. Always looking to optimize my workflow, I thought how nice it would be if someone could port it to Flash so I could run it straight out of my browser. So I did. And here it is, AS3 SFXer. Let's take a look, shall we? Generator buttons down the left generate familiar but randomized sound effects perfect for basic gaming needs. The oscillator settings across the top choose exactly what type of sound to generate. Attack, sustain and decay control the volume envelope. Frequency sets the pitch of the sound. Vibrato gives a classic wobble feel. Change can shift the pitch mid-sound. Square duty changes the way the square wave sounds. Repeat speed can set if and how often the setting should be reset during the sound. Phaser applies a phaser effect. The low-pass filter only allows lower frequencies through. And the high-pass filter only allows higher frequencies through. You can then say WAVs straight out of AS3 SFXer and then import them back into Flash or any game development software. The web app is only one half of AS3 SFXer. By grabbing the source code, it's open source, you can use use AS3SFX to generate sounds at runtime in your games. Let's look at how with an example. So, here's John Davey. He looks a little bit parched. Ah, beer. But it's all a little bit quiet, which isn't like John at all. So, we can grab the sound we want out of the app, we can copy the settings straight from the app and paste it into our code, which looks as simple as this. There it is with the settings. We're then going to cache the sound so that it only has to play back the generated sound later. Much better. AS3SFX can also generate mutated sounds so that it sounds slightly different each time at runtime. I've been Tom Vine. Thanks very much.
Good morning, Flash on the Beach. My name is Jasper Stocker. I work for Digital Outlook in London. My background is in Flash, making games for these guys. But today I'm going to be talking about why I love Unity. My experience with Unity can be summed up in one word: fun. It's extremely easy to get into Unity and start being creative. But some of you might actually be asking what Unity actually is. Well, it's a hardware-accelerated 3D game engine. Things like physics and lighting come integrated and come out the box when you get it. The IDE is also really amazing. It's very feature-packed, but it's not overwhelming. You can program in JavaScript, C# or Boo, and it also has a fantastically well-supported and established community, much like our Flash community. People are sharing their ideas and their problems and solutions. But today, Unity are in an interesting position. With it, you can support Mac and PC, whether it be web or standalone. You can also target the mobile platforms of Android, iPhone or iPad. But you can even target modern games consoles. And this can make games development very cost effective, and it's one of the reasons why EA just signed up to use it for everything they're doing now. So why do I love Unity? Well, I suppose it brought me back to an earlier time of Flash, its infancy, when there were more possibilities than realities. This is my first demo I made in Unity. I think I didn't know anything, and it took me about 4 hours. It's just a simple flight sim. And it has about 4 lines of code in it. It was just really fun. It really made me fall in love with the workflow of Unity. And it has some really great things. Things like auto-update. So the assets you have outside the IDE that you update, auto-update inside the IDE in front of your eyes. And because it's an open folder structure, you could leave that updating to modelers or designers, and you can just keep your head in the code. The code is also geared towards game development. There's a function called lookat, which does exactly what it says. It just points stuff at other stuff. There's no need to dip into trigonometry, and it's very simple and easy to use. Your public variables in your classes are also exposed within the IDE, which is very lovely, and you can just get on with tweaking stuff in the IDE. And of course, a lot of the interaction in the IDE is done with drag and drop, which is a very simple and elegant solution, and it's also a very fun way of working. And of course, the biggest reason to get into it now is it's free. And also, version 3 is just about to come out. So if you're interested in Unity, I suggest you head over to unity3d.com, download a copy. If you're in London, head over to Unity 3D London Meetup, hosted by Public Creative. I always try and make it, it's always good fun. And if you're interested in my further exploits in Unity, hit my Twitter and my blog. Thank you very much.
I'm not impressed at all. Now, this is me. Brilliant. I love flashy colors. Well, and I'm a creative coder and Flash dev. And I'm a very nice person, but you don't give a damn about this. So let's go. Yeah. Ta-da! So this was the former title. Now it's more serious. It's called Fragile. Like it's more beautiful. This old demo was done with Minko, which is a new 3D engine in Flash. Very low level, very performant, and as you will see, you'll see. So the first thing I wanted to do was to hull a set of arbitrary points in the space. And that's what I did. It looks pretty much like what Stefan showed yesterday, like the pasta. I didn't do it on purpose. It was a mistake. Now, the good thing is that you can also hull objects, which are basically a set of points. And use this hull to perform tests, collision tests, and blah blah blah, at a higher speed and with somewhat the accuracy you'd get. This is Helmut the helmet. And you'll see it later. So. Now, this is what I wanted to do basically. So take a mesh, build a hull, and try to collect the triangles that are inside some tetrahedra that are used to build the hull. So that you can obtain. I was pretty glad with it. So, but there was still some little thing missing. So I implemented this half-hedge data structure. Maybe some of you know of it, maybe not. And it helps us isolate sub-meshes or sub-patches inside a mesh. So when you run it on a single object, it will find some sub-objects. Well, who cares? And finally, this is like I plugged it with Jiglib. So I'm breaking the mesh like this pretty huge one, and breaking the mesh, and then building some spheres, cubes, whatever, and run the Jiglib fancy stuff. And basically, that was it. And next steps could be to import it to the AS3 mod library and optimize it, of course. And well, okay.